Hello everybody, what's going on? And welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. 11 Premier League games to play, and there's a point separating us and Manchester United. But today we will take on Chelsea first, followed by a round of 16 FA Cup tie against Crystal Palace. And then after that, it's an away trip to Anfield to take on Liverpool. We'll see how far we get in today's episode. We might even make it through to the next game against Palace at home. But the big game today is definitely that one there, in the round of 16 of the FA Cup, because as you might remember, at the beginning of the series, I said I wanted to try and win one of the cups this season, and we've got no better chance than doing that here with the FA Cup. I showed you the draw last episode, and in case you didn't see it, here it is again. We got Palace, but if you look at the big teams that are left in this, there's really only two, and they're playing each other. Liverpool and Spurs are against each other. I think everybody else in this FA Cup, situation, we can still beat. So there's a real opportunity for us to make it at least through to the final. And if we draw one of Liverpool or Spurs in the next round and manage to beat them, there's no reason why we won't go on to win the entire competition. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, because some of the teams still left in here can give us a very good game. Brighton did recently when we drew with them. Everton could be a tricky tie as well. And there's some other teams in there as well that might cause a few problems. But I'm very confident about our chances in the FA Cup. But before we do that, we've got the game against Chelsea, and here it is. I'm already ready to go into it. I'm going to get straight into this, see what Chelsea's team is looking like. If I need to make any changes, of course, I will. But I'll see you in a second with the lineups. And here are the lineups then. Chelsea on the right-hand side have gone with Kepa in goal, Tagliafico, Zuma, Ginter, and Roberto at the back. Kante, Jorginho, and Kovacic in front of them, with Pulisic, Belotti, and Hudson-Odoi as the front three. For us, Butland takes the spot back in goal. I thought about starting Ramsdale, but we're going to put Butland back in for this one. Kelly, Ake, Chris Meffin keeps his spot at the back alongside Ake, so no Steve Cook. Stacey in the right back spot. Fraser, Maddison, Cook, and Brooks in the midfield. Maddison in a more deeper role with King in front of them. And of course, Wilson up top on his lonesome. Let's get into this one and see what we can do in game number one. Here goes Pulisic for Chelsea down the left-hand side. We're not going to catch him yet as he sends the cross in. Butland comes out to punch it, and between him and Ake, they deal with the danger. But now Pulisic again is on the ball, looking to send another cross in maybe, but this time Jack Stacey says, nope, I'll have it back, and then gives it straight back to Chelsea. He's battling away. I was going to say, ref, is there not a free kick in there somewhere? Instead, though, we play our way out pretty well. And now look at the run coming in on that left-hand side from Ryan Fraser. If Brooks can find him, and he can. What a pass it is. Ryan Fraser! And Kepa makes the first save of the match. What a ball over by David Brooks. Fraser gets it under control. Unfortunately, he just could not apply the finish. And that ball isn't too bad either. This time, though, it might just go out of play. Yes, it does. Here is Fraser. Pretty much the last kick of the first half. And there is the whistle. 0-0 so far, and we've had the best chance of the match. But there's not been a lot of good quality football on show. Both teams very sloppy in possession in the midfield areas. And as you can see, only the one shot so far in the game. I'm maybe thinking of a couple of substitutions here, because with that FA Cup tie against Crystal Palace coming up, we are going to have to play a strong team for that. So I'm maybe thinking about who will be playing in that FA Cup tie in a few moments. And who do I really want to bring off here? I think, for the most part, I'm going to be bringing off James Maddison, because he will probably play against Palace, and I want to try and get Calvin Phillips back out there, because he's been good for us this season, Phillips, but that poor performance he had against Sheffield United made me take him out of the team. So it's not like I'm saying he was the bad part against Sheffield United. We were poor in a lot of areas, but I just wanted to give him a bit of a rest. So Phillips is back out there. We brought him on for Maddison as Chelsea lose possession, not for the first time in the game. And not for the first time in the game, we also lose possession. So that's pretty much what it's been in the first half. And Phillips steps in to win the ball back. Now King through for Wilson. Wilson gets it on the left foot. And Kepa again makes the save. Only the second shot in the match. And twice Kepa has been required. Lewis Cook with the short corner, trying to send the cross in. Kovacic blocks it behind. Phillips up towards Wilson. Good touch as well. Callum Wilson in towards the feet of Thiago Almada. On for Joshua King. And here he is then. The young man. Can he find a chance in this one? Almada shifts it in towards the box. And Thiago Almada has broken the deadlock at the Vitality Stadium. The substitution has worked. And finally, a bit of quality from our new, what was it, £8 million man? £8.5 million man? I mean, I'm going to be honest. I've got big big hopes for this player in the future, Thiago Almada. But in the first couple of games he's played for us here at Bournemouth, he just didn't seem to kind of find his feet and find any rhythm. And he's been on no more than 10 minutes and already has looked the most lively player on the pitch. And Thiago Almada has scored his first Bournemouth goal, and what a time to get it. If that's the goal that wins the game against Chelsea, thank you very much, Almada. It was lovely play as well to get in. In fairness, I think maybe Kepa should have saved it, but he's made 2 really good saves before that anyway, and that's Megs on one of the Chelsea players there. And all of a sudden, this looks bad for them as Almada looks to get through again. This time, Matthias Ginter is able to block the ball and send it away. Fraser on the turn, and that's poor from us as we concede possession. But Almada has broken the deadlock, and Chelsea at the minute need to find an answer. They've been unable to do it thus far. We're defending much like we were before our horrific game against Sheffield United in the last episode, and they've not been able to find a clear-cut chance yet. A minute to play at the Vitality Stadium. Phillips' ball towards Ryan Fraser. Fraser trying to beat Sergio Roberto. Battles away to try and keep hold of it. Unable to do so, but there is the full-time whistle. 3 chances in the entire game, and we were able to convert one of those 3. Chelsea were poor going forward, and I will say they never really threatened, but it took a little bit of quality from Thiago Almada to find the finish, and in the end, it's a very, very slender 1-0 win, but it's a win nonetheless. And now we move into the FA Cup tie against Crystal Palace. I'll be very surprised if there's any major talking points from that game, but you scored, or you're scored, you're scored the decisive goal. What did you make of the game? We were the better team, I'll say that. We created the chances, albeit only 3, but at least we were able to put the ball into the back of the net. You managed to turn the tide and find the decisive goal, courtesy of Thiago Almada, of course. There was not much to split the 2 teams before the build-up, and I will say I trusted we give it our all. Although looking at the game on paper and looking at Chelsea's team, I didn't actually really think they had a fantastic team. I'm not going to lie. You got your rematch against Chelsea. What changed after the last match? We were more determined. I can't even remember what happened in the last game against Chelsea, so let me check that out. Did they beat us? We lost 3-2. Wait, we lost 3-2. I actually, for the life of me, can't remember what happened in that game. Obviously, we lost 3-2, so I know the scoreline. But, yeah, I'm trying to remember back to the goals, and I can't. But anyway, at least we got some revenge then. After a 3-2 defeat earlier on, we've beaten them by a 1-0 there. It is now time for our FA Cup round of 16 tie against Crystal Palace. And we have gone with Ramsdale in goal, Rico at left back, Ake and Metham in the 2 centre-back spots with Smith on the right back. Danjuma at left midfield with Lerma, Phillips in the midfield too with Wilson on the right. Thiago Almada just in front and Joshua King up front. Very good team. There is a strong bench as well. I will show you that right here so you can see who we have got. We've got Abraham, Wilson, Brooks, Billing, Stacey and Maddison. So a lot of quality on the bench as well if we need them. For Palace though, they go with Gaita in goal, Chilwell, Sacco, Tompkins and Munir at the back. A decent back four that actually. Schlupp, Kuyate, Milivojevic and Meyer in the midfield. Iheanacho and Andre Ayew up front. Time to try and book our spot in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. And of course, after this, if we can, we get to see who's through against out of Liverpool and Spurs. And as long as we avoid them, I'll be feeling very confident about trying to get through to the final. Here is Smith, found by Wilson. Allowed to continue forward as well, but there's no pass on next. So goes back towards Phillips. And now look at the space for Lerma. Lerma through towards Thiago Almada. Almada across the face of goal for a tap in, and he just can't reach it. Joshua King there at the back post, sliding in. And he just did not quite have enough to be able to reach the ball. To be fair, it wasn't the best cut back in the world by Almada. I was just hoping that somebody was going to get there. And unfortunately, Joshua King was close, but not close enough. Corner after corner right now for us here at Bournemouth as Almada works his way towards the area. Gets the shot away. And Gaita is able to save it. And yet again, there's another corner to defend for Palace. This time we look to send one in towards the box. The keeper's come out to get it. And he's done all right with the first bit. Cleared away only as far as Rico. We now find Danjuma. And it's Bournemouth's possession to hold. 5 minutes to go until half-time. Possession in a great area for us. We feed it up towards the feet of Joshua King. As he's trying to battle away to work a way through. And he goes instead now towards Harry Wilson. Wilson turning towards the feet of King again. Great little spin. Josh King! And Gaita makes the save. Oh, we've been trying so hard in this first half to break down Palace defensively. They've sat back and soaked up the pressure. And at the moment, we don't have anything to show for it. But Wilson is able to win back possession. And that's not a great pass, but Lerma still made it anyway. Danjuma gives him the run. And now we need a good enough cutback. Danjuma on the turn. Last kick of this first half pretty much as Danjuma works his way into the box. And smashes it in the top corner. Get in! Bournemouth 1, Palace 0. Danjuma, what a finish. Honestly, from this point, I had no idea what I was going to do. The space just opened up. And we continued in towards the box. Nobody really closed Danjuma down. And he hits one right into the top corner. And we've taken the lead. And that will be the last kick of this first half. The pressure has been mounting on Crystal Palace. And they could not withstand it in the end. Here is Almada as we're back out for the second half. And look at this run that Almada is about to go on. Thiago Almada. Great run. If he could have finished it, that would have been brilliant. Lerma with a follow-up. It's still here for Phillips now. And Calvin Phillips surely sends us through to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. Thiago Almada deserved a finish at the end of it, though. The run from him to be able to get the chance initially, it was Messi-like, if you will. And in the end, the goalkeeper saves it. But Lerma's there, sends it off to Phillips, and he smashes it home. 2-0 Bournemouth. One just before half-time, one just after it. And we are now on the verge of a quarter-finals of the FA Cup. On the ball, looking for a way through. And look at the space that just seemed to open up there as he's brought down on the edge of the Palace penalty area. Elsewhere, by the way, Spurs 1, Liverpool 1. Salah has just equalised for Liverpool. So it's all square over there. And we'll have to wait and find out who eventually comes out on top. But we have a free kick here to make this 3-0 Bournemouth. As you guys know, I can't really take free kicks, though, so this might be pretty interesting indeed. As Wilson steps over it, it's not a bad effort, and Gaeta keeps it out. But, yeah, free kicks, not my strong point in this year's game so far. So whenever I get one, I just don't have any confidence at all that I'm going to score it. As Danjuma works his way through, great cross for Wilson. And in the end, Chilwell is able to turn it behind. Oh, my goodness me, the ball has caught us out here. Ayew flicks it down towards Iheanacho. Iheanacho now then needs a second pass. Metham goes over. He's still got it somehow, Iheanacho. I don't quite know how. And Ramsdale makes his first save of the match. When Metham went over there, I thought we were gonna see to the danger, but apparently not. Iheanacho works his way through. The shot comes in, and Ramsdale makes the save. 24 minutes to play here as Connor Wickham is on for Iheanacho. The corner is swung in. Phillips gets up for the first header. Doesn't quite clear it, and Tompkins can't find a shot on target with his header. But that would have been a way back into the match for Palace, and I'm glad that we didn't allow them back in this. Wilson towards Lerma. Lerma in towards the feet of Thiago Almada. Turning as well, and he's got Danjuma making the run. He's found him with a brilliant pass. 8 minutes to play. Danjuma sends it in towards that near post, and Joshua King has hit the post. Could have been 3 here for us. And there has been a goal elsewhere as well. It popped up at the top right-hand side with a goal alert. Unfortunately, it went off the screen before I could see who that was. So it could well be one of those two teams, Liverpool or Spurs, now in front. So I don't know who it is. We'll have to wait and find out at the end of the match. But Joshua King really close to a third goal there to be denied by the woodwork. And ultimately, we are in cruise control here so far. Camarasa in towards Max Meyer. Very happy with this performance. It's been professional. It's been convincing. That's not so convincing by Danjuma, though, with a header backwards. But Billing has made sure of it. And we are very, very close now to seeing this one out as Lerma's ball for Harry Wilson. Wilson turning round the defender. Still continuing here. Harry Wilson with a shot. And now he hits the woodwork. Oh, my goodness. How have we not found this third goal? What a strike from Harry Wilson. And there is the full-time whistle from the Vitality Stadium. Bournemouth head through to the FA Cup quarter-finals. And we can now see who has, in fact, got the better of who in that Spurs versus Liverpool game. Maybe it'll be a replay. But we have booked our spot in the quarter-finals then. And we will find out who we are to play. And it will be Spurs who make it through into the next round. They've beaten Liverpool by 4-3 on penalties after a 2-2 draw in round 5. I didn't think it went to penalties. I thought it was a replay, but maybe in the later rounds it does in fact go to penalties now, as we have our interview to do after the game. Comfortable win that sees you through to the next round of the FA Cup. What are your impressions on the match? to be fair, like I said, it was professional, it was convincing. I am only focused on silverware. If we win the FA Cup, that's all that matters. Quite a resounding victory today with a 2-0 scoreline. How pleased are you with your team's performance? We can do even better, we will say. And lastly, Gaeta shining goal for the opposition today. How difficult was it to score past him? It wasn't easy. You got to give credit to Palace for the way they set their stall out. It wasn't easy to outpace them, and Gaeta's performance made it even harder. And that is our interview done. So let's check out the draw after I've skipped a few days. And we're back top, but that's because Man United have a game in hand. As we will have Liverpool next. And the game should have been played. We've got a press conference to do ahead of Liverpool. And Man United are yet to play. So we are still top for now with 10 games to play for us. They have 11. But the FA Cup draw should have now been done. Who is it going to be in the next round? Let's find out. Round 6, quarter-finals. Wigan will take on Spurs. We will play Derby County. Huddersfield will play Everton. And Aston Villa will face off against Leeds. So, prediction time. Spurs will beat Wigan. They will get through to the semi-final. I think Everton will beat Huddersfield and make it through to the semi-final. Villa and Leeds is a tricky one. But I will say I'm going to give it to Villa for the home advantage. And they will make it through. And of course, I've got to back us. So I think we'll beat Derby. And I'm going to say that we will draw Everton in the semi-finals. And Villa will play Spurs in the semi-finals if we make it there, of course. They're my predictions. But still very, very happy with that draw. And hopefully now we'll make it through to the semi-final. We've got the press conference to do. So let's jump straight into that. And then it's time to take on Liverpool at Anfield. Although it seemed unlikely back when it all started, the Premier League title is well within your reach. With only a few matches remaining, can your team see it through till the end? We'll have to stay focused and make sure we don't waste any chances that come our way. Last time you scored 2 goals on Liverpool made it look easy. Will you be able to defeat them again? If I remember rightly, there were 2 counter-attacking moves. So I'm going to say they can learn from their mistakes. And then finally, do you believe that Bournemouth can lose their upcoming match against Liverpool since they are perceived to be the better team? Can't say. The lads will play well. We don't. We don't believe there's a chance we'll lose. The lads will play well, or I can't say. The lads will play well. As they always do, we beat Palace, and now we're going to face an equally tough opponent. I mean, that's harsh. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to Palace fans. I'm sorry to Liverpool fans. That's not what I meant. The media are just taking it out of context. I'm here checking out the Liverpool team ahead of our game against them. And I was looking at it and I thought, where on earth is Van Dijk? Well, he's suspended. He's got a red card, so he will not play against us. He is going to be a big, big miss for Liverpool. But their team, nonetheless, is going to be Alisson in goal, Robertson at left back, Gomez and Lovren at the back. With Visialko at right back, of course, no Trent Alexander-Arnold. I think he's gone to Real Madrid. Fabinho, Tolisso and Wijnaldum in the midfield with Salah, Firmino and Mane as the front 3. On the bench, Werner to come on, Shaqiri, Chamberlain, Henderson, Matip, Raskazov and Adrian as well. So, yeah, Van Dijk going to be a big miss for Liverpool, but they still have a very, very good front 3 that we know all about. For us, Butland starts, Kelly, Ake, Metham, Stacey, Fraser, Phillips, Cook, Brooks, Maddison and Wilson. Joshua King not available after playing in that FA Cup tie. So let's get into this one at Anfield and see if we can again defeat Liverpool or if they will get the better of us this time. And we are off here at Anfield then as Wijnaldum looking for a way through. Got Fabinho there for the pass. There's the shots! And a lightning fast start for the home side after 4 minutes. Fabinho smashes it home. And that's not the start we were hoping to see. It really is not. We beat them 2-0 last time. And we were able to really, use the pace to our advantage. I mean, we're inside 4 minutes here. We just didn't defend. Phillips trying to make the tackle initially on Wijnaldum. And he sent the pass through to Fabinho, who's kept his composure and smashed it home. And already, 5 minutes in, Liverpool take the lead. It's going to have to be a comeback now for us. Oh, that's not a good pass at all. It's going to have to be a comeback for us if we want to get something out of this game. And the one thing that's kind of, I guess, worrying me a little bit is... Oh my goodness me, Mane is just so quick. Yeah, I stepped wrong as Jack Stacey does well. But we need to be quicker with the pass. What's going on here? Hang on a second. Because we have some defending to do, which we've now done. The thing that's slightly worrying me is although there's no Virgil van Dijk in this Liverpool team, Joe Gomez is still very, very pacey as well. So the likes of Callum Wilson might struggle today against him. But here is Lewis Cook towards the feet of Wilson. Allowed to turn. And that is a brilliant save by Alisson. So, one chance apiece, and their goalkeeper has proved to be the difference here so far. What a save. Liverpool corner now to be taken by Sadio Mane. Sends it in towards the box. Butland can only help it on its way as it's come here for Lovren. Now flick down to Wijnaldum. And the shot is in, but it's into the hands of Jack Butland. And we can now maybe break away with Ryan Fraser, sent by Lewis Cook. Fraser looking to get past Vesialko. And Fraser has got the pace, remember, as well, as he's passed him. And he turns on the inside, still with the ball here, Ryan Fraser. And if he can get the finish, this will be some goal. But it's straight into the hands of Alisson. Here is Fabinho, finds Wijnaldum. Liverpool with some good possession here. Firmino and Fabinho link up. And I thought that was Fabinho's second goal of the match. Free kick in a really good area here for Liverpool. 37 minutes in, Salah is stood over it and he tries to find the top corner. And Jack Butland makes the save. We are under pressure here at Anfield. Liverpool playing some unbelievable stuff at times. They're untouchable when they play this way. Here is Maddison towards the feet of Wilson. Wilson to Lloyd Kelly. And Alisson makes another save. I'm not sure why it was Lloyd Kelly up here anyway, and why it wasn't Ryan Fraser. But again, Alisson pads his stats. And we just can't seem to find the corners of the goal at the moment. Everything we're doing is straight at the Liverpool number one. And at half-time, it is Liverpool who lead here. We have been under pressure at times. But we've given some problems to this Liverpool backline. The only problem is we're not finding the corners of the goal with our shots. Here is Solanke allowed to turn. Dominic Solanke finds Abraham. Abraham towards Jack Stacey. Stacey inside the penalty area of Liverpool. Stacey across for Abraham. Oh, it was a brilliant move and it should have been finished. Tammy Abraham, how have you not hit the target? Oh, so close. What a move as well. That was the equaliser. I don't think we're going to find it. It's one of them days where we're just not hitting the target with the shots. And when we do, they're straight at Alisson. 13 minutes to play. What a move. And Tammy Abraham should have finished it off. Oh, that's annoying, man. That was really nicely worked as well. As Salah's in down the right-hand side. 10 minutes to play. Maddison goes over to stop it. And how have you given that as a free kick, referee? What did I do wrong? Absolutely nothing. Phillips up towards the feet of Brooks. This is going to be the last opportunity of the game. David Brooks. Abraham just stood still. Didn't even make the move. You're going to have to be quicker than that, Tammy Abraham, to make the move forward for us as we find the feet of David Brooks. Brooks now into an advanced position. Trying to fake shot round Joe Gomez, who watches it all the way. Don't blow your whistle yet, ref. There's still 30 seconds to play. Oh, I thought it was a corner. It's not. It's a throw-in. Abraham towards the feet of Wilson. Lets it go to Phillips. Phillips just can't get through. Great defending by Gomez. Liverpool 1, Bournemouth 0 at Anfield. I'm going to be honest. I'm very disappointed that we haven't got at least a draw from this game. First half, Liverpool were very good. They created chances. They could have been more than 1-0 up at the break. But the second half, it was all us. We were in search of an equaliser. And you can't help but say that Tammy Abraham, with that chance in the second half, after a fantastic Bournemouth move, should have scored. Instead, though, it's Liverpool 1, Bournemouth 0. And we've lost ground in the title race if Manchester United have won. And with 9 games in fact to go, that's not good. Would giving Lerma a chance to play help the team to win today? He can prove me wrong, not a priority. I'm fully responsible. I mean, I don't think it was a team selection. As I said, we had chances. It seems the second match against Liverpool didn't go as planned. What went wrong? We traded results, I guess, with them. And let's say the lads did their best. Let's not dishearten anybody. Do you think certain changes or a different approach altogether could have helped you avoid this humiliating defeat? I'm not sure. I'm not going to say that it's my fault because, you know, we played no different to how we played against Liverpool. Maybe it is my fault for not playing different. Boss, I can't lie. I was worried that you had plans to replace me. I just felt a bit threatened by the new faces that arrived at the club. He's saying this as Maddison was one of the new faces who arrived. You're doing great, we'll tell him to keep him happy, as he is doing very, very good. Before we go, we'll have a quick look at another squad report then, as Mark Dillon is up by 12 overalls. And he's actually getting to a point now where maybe we'll have to think about getting him into the team on a more permanent basis. But he's loan listed at the moment, so my plan is to let him go on loan next season, get a full year of, games under his belt, and then come back to us and see where he's at after that. Jack Stacey up by 6, one of the more higher growers in the team in terms of overalls. David Brooks up by 4, Travers up by 3, Mulder up by 3, Lewis Cook up by 3 as well to an 80 rated player. And as I scroll down, if you want to check out any players in more detail, just pause it on whichever one you guys want to check out. I can't, of course, show you everybody's stats, but you can kind of see how they are progressing as well. I'm pretty sure at the moment the highest value player for us is actually Ryan Fraser. So, yeah, he is, I think, our most valuable player. Let me just double check that. Yep, £25 million he's worth, Ryan Fraser. And also, I gave him a new contract because I found out that his contract was expiring at the end of this season. So, I didn't show you that, but yeah, it popped up and I gave him a new deal at the club. So, he's here for another 3 years now on £80,000 a week. So we haven't got to worry about losing him. The only way he will leave is if somebody comes in with a big offer for him. And in terms of our top scorer as well, Joshua King's a little bit off the pace at the moment. He's not done as well as maybe would have expected him to. Harry Kane is slowly getting away from him in the Golden Boot race. So Joshua King falling behind. Fraser on 12 as well alongside Wilson, who's on 12. Solanke scored 4. Madison scored 4. Assisted 4. So you can see he was doing really well for us. But we're going to end today's episode off here because we begin the next episode with that quarter-final game against Derby. And I'm quite surprised to see it as early as I have got it here. But Spurs have beaten Wigan by 2-0. So they await in the semi-finals alongside Everton, the two that I predicted to get through. My predictions will be correct if we can beat Derby and Villa beat Leeds in the next episode. And then, of course, we draw the ones that I said we were going to draw. So we'll see how that one goes. But for the Premier League today then, after that defeat to Liverpool, you can see here, it's not actually affected us because Manchester United have also not done too well. So if we take a quick look at that, we last played, let me go back to February, the end of February, to see Manchester United's game because I believe they had Man City coming up, didn't they? So they beat West Ham 3-0 when we beat Chelsea by 1-0. So where were I talking about? Man City, Man United, Man City. Where is it? Where is it? There it is, 8th of March. They drew 1 apiece with Manchester City and then went on to lose to Sheffield United by 1-0 at Old Trafford as well. Sheffield United with some surprising results this season, which now means, of course, that we are topped by a point even after our defeat to Liverpool. So the Premier League title race is still well and truly on. And in fact, as well, Manchester City are not completely out of it yet. It's quite surprising to see us up there, but I think if there'd have been, one strong team this league, likes of Man City or a Liverpool, really finding their ground and, winning pretty much all of their games, they would have just stomped this league title. So it's helping us, the aspect that some of the other big teams are slipping up and not doing as well as you'd expect. It was very reminiscent of when Leicester won the league in that season where, big teams weren't necessarily playing the best football. Of course, Leicester played unbelievably to win it. But, yeah, it's looking like that again. So let's see what we can do. Sheffield United up to 12th place now as well. And you can see the bottom 3. It's looking like Palace and Burnley are definitely going down. It's one of Watford, West Ham, Villa or Norwich, I think. Chelsea down in 13th. Liverpool in 10th. Some surprising little results there as well. But that's going to be it for today. If you have enjoyed it, a like would be greatly appreciated. As always, a massive thank you for your support as well. I really appreciate that too. If you are new around here, like what you see, hit that subscribe button down below. And I will see you all again, hopefully tonight, for another video in a double upload Saturday. If not, definitely tomorrow. Until then, adios.